Let's get right to our guests from Thinkific. It's Rob Belisabas and it's Patty McGill, and here they are. Guys, thanks so much for joining us.
For the invite. It's a real pleasure, and we are super excited to help teach, educate, and tell people all about online courses. Yeah, we are thrilled to bits.
Yeah,
super excited. Yeah, thanks, guys.
Hey, so it's great to talk to you. I had a blast when I was on your show, and we talked a lot about live streaming. Let's get into course creation, course selling. For people who are new to learning about platforms such as Thinkific, and in particular Thinkific, how does Thinkific help people go about creating a course if they're first-time course creators?
Patty,
Rob,
go ahead,
do
man.
you want me to answer this one, or you, Rob?
Yeah, go for it. Go for it. Go for it. Go for it.
So, hey, Bron. Yeah, so that's a great question. So, we're essentially like a software that allows you to create your first or next online course with us. So, if you've ever used any sort of like website builder or any type of tool online to build like a website or any other type of product, then it's very similar to that. So you can jump into Thinkific, you can upload all of your videos, you can upload your ebooks, you can upload, you can even just type in what it is that you want to be teaching, you can upload slides, and then you can connect up your PayPal account or your Stripe account, and then very simply hit go, and then within, in some instances, 20 minutes flat, you could be up and selling your next online course. And the beauty of it is that you don't, everything's like your brand, so you don't have to rely on like those big course marketplaces like Udemy and places like that, where they control your students, control the marketing, control your pricing.
So it's all really white labeled then for you to sell it on your own website, through your own branding, through your own channels, but you get all the benefits of a platform that specializes in course creation and course marketing.
Absolutely.
So tell us about, I know Dale's somebody, we talked about his course, and we're going to be giving away a couple of those, who's had just great things to say about Thinkific. Talk about some of the success stories, some of the people that you've maybe worked with or you've heard about, who started out, you know, their first course on Thinkific, and now they've really made a successful business out of selling courses.
Yeah, I'll share a quick story. Lady that we always kind of talk about is Deanne Love. She's based out of Australia, and so she took her phone and she went to the park and started filming herself doing different hula hoop moves, tricks, and things like that. And she put that up on YouTube, and so she had this huge YouTube following. So people then told her like, hey, you should create a course. And so she found Thinkific and created courses, and that has become her entire business now. So if you go to, I think it is hooplovers.tv, you can check out her site. She's got different, like she's got free courses, one-time fee courses, she's got subscription-based courses, and so so she's doing fantastic. So that's one story out there. There's so many different stories. There's another lady named Mimi G, and she shares, I think she does like sewing courses. She teaches, she used to take orders and, you know, to like create dresses and things like that for women. And she then started creating courses on how to make your own dress. And so that became her entire business. And now she's expanded into men's clothing and kids clothing. And so, so there's endless stories out there of people just taking their knowledge and packaging it into a course. And now that's become a big part of their businesses.
I was going to say, there's another great story from we got a lady, Monica, the CEO over at redefiningmum.com, and you know she was in her very final weeks of her last trimester, pregnant with I think it was her first child, and people coming up to, because she was very much embedded in the Pinterest community, and people wanted to know how they create, you know, how she was able to create great Pinterest adverts or great, you know, great pins, and they're very visual and stuff. It's just overwhelming demand. People asking the same questions time and time again. So I want to put this out there to the listeners as well, if you're and the viewers. So if you're constantly being asked the same thing or the same questions, and you're always giving away the same answer, the same solutions, that's usually a good indication that someone wants to come and learn for you, or you've got a topic that is pretty hot that you should actually go and start creating courses on.
You know, what's interesting, watching the chat here, for those watching on Facebook Live, it's Rob and Dan Norton actually is encouraging Gord Eisman, who is an expert in Camtasia, to create a Camtasia course already. Also, Coach Jenny is in the chat as well. Great to see all of you guys. Thanks so much for joining. I want to ask you guys this question from Dan, actually. He says, can you pre-sell a course before you actually go out and shoot the content?
Yeah, I think maybe me and Patty can answer this together. But yeah, hey, what's up, Dan? I want to say hello. I follow Dan on Instagram. I met him in LA at Vid Summit with you, Ross. So thanks for joining. We would actually suggest that you do that. So pre-sell your course before you create any type of content. You want to gauge if there's interest, right? So you can go to Thinkific, create a free account, and you can actually use one of our pre-sell course templates. And you can build a landing page really easily within, I don't want to say within minutes, but for really quickly. We pre-built it already for you, and just switch out all the content with yours, and share the content outline, and then put a price to it. Always put a price, and then share it with your audience. Maybe share it with a Facebook group, share it on Instagram, do a quick stories on it on Instagram, and gauge the interest that way, and pre-sell it before you create any course.
So, Patty, before you jump in, I want to just I think restate, just see if I'm catching one of the reasons to do that is you find out if the subject matter or the topic or the way you're framing it is sellable before you spend hours and hours recording it and trying to market it and spending money advertising it and all that. You first find out, is there any interest in it? And if there's not, then you go a different direction. You find a different aspect of your subject matter expertise to focus on. Is that the thought behind trying to sell first and then create second?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, you want to make sure that you're not going to do this launch and no one's going to purchase it, because we see it time and time and time again. And we have, there's a lot of people out there, coaches, speakers, authors, consultants, that have got a ton of knowledge. And what we find they tend to do is they will, let's say they want to teach how to do your own bookkeeping, for example. How do they get your bookkeeping up and running? They'll just write everything down that they know, and then they'll spend weeks and months and years, even potentially years, like creating the perfect thing, but they're not going out there and understanding first. So if you haven't, what I would say is, if you've got a network, either on Facebook or offline or wherever it is, what you should be doing is asking that question, saying, hey, everyone, I'm thinking of creating a course, because you're usually going to have like a subject matter that you're well known in, or you're known in. For example, it was Gord, wasn't it? Gord, the Camtasia expert. So yes. Gord, if you're listening, mate, this is what we recommend. If you've got an audience, any sort of community, drop this message out to them and say, hey, I'm thinking of creating a topic on Camtasia. What things in particular are you looking at? What would you like me to cover? And then what you've done, you've actually pre-built your content ahead of the game. And then what we recommend next is then actually to host this training potentially live. So if anyone's familiar with Zoom or any sort of web conferencing or Skyping or Google Hangout software, you can then teach this subject matter for, like, let's say over a 4-week period. So you're going to cover 4 modules. So A, B, C, D, and then a wrap-up session. And within those modules, within those sessions, asking the question as, are you getting the outcome, or are you getting a transformation, or are you learning what I've been teaching? What could we be doing better? What could I be doing better? What could I change? What's not working out for you? And during this process, you're actually refining your content. So then when you then go to relaunch, you know that you've got something, 1, that people want, 2, people have also potentially been giving you reviews, because they're like, wow, I've just done this 4-week beta course, and it's really like changed the game for me. I can now do my bookkeeping, or I can now do my first Camtasia video editing tool. My first video editing my first video that I've edited on Camtasia. There we go.
There you go.
There it is.
So, just to remind everybody, Rob and Patty are good enough to give away a free month to get you started, a free month of Thinkific. You can head on over to livestreamdeals.com, click the big image of Thinkific, and that'll take you through, sign up, and get that free month and get started. RJ Redden's joining us, the bot maker, the Black Belt Bots pro, and she says she loves Thinkific. She's a happy user right there. Gord Eisman asks, can you do a hybrid webinar in Thinkific?
It is possible, but what you need to do, you need to establish what your what tool that you're going to use to deliver the webinar in, and then what you can do is then embed that link or that tool, just like the link that we have now for BeLive TV. You can in theory take that and then embed it within a course on your Thinkific account. So if you set up, like, say, 4 modules, and then you release them over a week 1 to 4 period, you could include the same or different BeLive TV links, for example, or the Zoom links you set up. So then each time the content gets released, that person then needs to come in and consume that content within your Thinkific course.
Wow. One of the things I'm wondering for people who are new, there's a lot to it, to creating a course, and obviously you've given some great overview. What resources are available for people if they get stuck or they have questions about the best way to go about everything? From, it could be from pricing to, what technology to use, or what makes a good course in terms of length or number of students, or any of those kind of things that somebody would be asking who's doing this for the first time.
I know, Rob, you'll have a few things to add on top of this, but in regards to specifically to the offer that we have, we've got for everyone that's joining us live or on the podcast, we're going to be not getting just a free month. We're giving away amazing training, fill in the blank templates and guides. We're also going to get an onboarding call, so we're actually going to jump on the phone with you and understand what your challenges are with the platform, or like how to use Thinkific. It's almost like an ask us anything, and then we'll do what we can to help you there. So you're getting all that stuff included within the deal, but also long term, the support we offer. We've got amazing blogs, amazing guides, a great training site that's really packed full of content, and of course an amazing community. We've got over 13,000 course creators within our group, and obviously you've got the likes of Rob and I humbly say myself that will be here to help you out.
Well, you guys are fantastic. It's so great to have you on. Thank you so much for joining. Definitely check that out, livestreamdeals.com. First month is free. What do you have to lose? Try it. See if you have a course idea. Go ahead and start marketing it. Start selling it right away and see, right? And then if there's an interest in it, you can certainly come up with the material after that, especially since you're probably going to be doing something that you're an expert in, that you've been talking about and teaching, and, whether it's been coaching people or speaking about or what have you. Right, so that first course, it shouldn't be, reinventing the wheel, right? It should be content that you're very familiar with. So I think the hardest thing for most people is getting started.
Yeah, absolutely. So hopefully this will help. Yeah, so if you just check out that link, it'll help you jumpstart, get the free month, get a couple onboarding calls with us. We can answer your questions one-on-one, and then a bunch of training to help you along the way.
Cool. Well, thanks so much, Rob and Patty. It's great to talk to you from Thinkific. And do check out Thinkific at livestreamdeals.com. Thanks, guys.